What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Justin and today we're going to review the Runcam 3S. It just came in the door yesterday and here it is. Looks pretty nice. Take a little first look at that in the very back. If my camera's going to focus, there we go. Little USB port down here for charging up the internal battery, and this time check this out. There's a door there, so there is a battery inside. If you press this little button right here, the door pops off and the battery comes out. This is a little 1S 850 milliamp battery. It should last a full flight day out in the field. We're going to find out about that, but there it is, and you're going to be able to get extras for it, which is totally awesome. You can shoot 1080p at 60 frames per second, and it looks like there's a Wi-Fi button on the very back too, which I'm not a real big fan of the Wi-Fi. I usually like to just kind of put my camera on my quad, press record and go. I'm not really playing around with the settings too much because I'm going to leave it at 1080p, and this door is just a little bit finicky, but there it is. It's back on there. This little camera has 160 degree field of view, so I'm going to see if it's a little bit fisheyed. It is past 150 degrees, so I'm kind of wondering what it's going to look like, but usually Runcam has pretty good quality cameras. We'll go ahead and take this and put it on the new Diatone GT Tyrant that I have sitting here, so it'll be kind of a double-edged review today. You'll get to see the Tyrant fly, and you'll get to check out the new Runcam 3S and see if it's worth the 99 bucks. Here we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and set the Runcam 3S on the scale, 69.9 grams, not too bad. Now the Tyrant with the Runcam on there, 454.4 grams, and now without it, 376 grams. Not too bad, that's the dry weight. And if you're running the 4S version of this, it comes with these motors. These are the 2306, 2450 kV motors, and they do have a Sunny Sky label on them, so they look like they're Sunny Sky branded motors. Pretty nice coils and magnets on the bottom. Looks pretty tight under there. Now I'm running it today on the 6S version motors, and those are the 2308, and those are 1950 kV motors, so don't try to fly 6S on the blue motors. You will fry them for sure. But we have some pretty nice props on here. Those are the dowel props, and I'm running a little thinner core prop this time because I want to conserve battery life. I want to have a longer flight time, but I love the top of this quad as a nice flat rail for putting any type of camera on top. You can run it top mount or bottom mount, either way you want to go. It's a little bit tight underneath the bottom to get that strap through there, but you do have replaceable arms on this one, and you have front and back mounting points for smaller VTX setups, which is kind of nice that they did that detail. And we've got the Micro Sparrow 2 on there today, so a pretty nice quadcopter, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome out in the field. So let's go ahead and take a drive now and head out to the field. And it is super smoky out today. The whole state of California seems to be on fire, and yeah, it's looking pretty nasty out there. But let's go ahead and press the Wi-Fi button on the back of the Runcam. You'll see this pop up. It should say RC something 3S with a series of numbers. Go ahead and click that. Enter in your password 123456789 and click join. Once you do that, we're going to hop over to the Runcam app, and you're going to select which one you have. They have a whole bunch of different types of cameras. So in the setting, we have all kinds of cool stuff. Auto sync, wide dynamic range, you can turn that on or off. Date stamp, auto shutdown, feedback beep, USB function, video settings in there, AV out settings for TV mode and TV out icon. Wi-Fi settings, you can change the password, which is also cool. I love that. And the micro SD card, it shows my available capacity, and I can format it. But let's check out some of the other settings in here, like the auto white balance. You can do sunny, you can do cloudy, you can do fluorescent, and you can do incandescent. I'm just going to put it back to auto. Exposure value, you can go up or down. You have to click the little negative button on the left or the positive button on the right. And we also have the field of view. You can change that, which is cool, kind of like with GoPro. You can change it to medium, to narrow, or you can go back to the full view, which I think I'm going to stick with the full view for today's filming. And we've also got metering. We can do average, we can do center weighted, and we can also do spot if we want to, but I'm just going to leave that on average for this flight today. And you can flip it. You have flip mode, so you can go up or down if your camera's mounted on a quad, up or down. You can also change the resolution, 1920 by 1080 or 1280 by 720. In the middle right there where you see the 60, that pops up, and you can change it all the way down to 30 seconds. Interesting that you can do 50, and you can change the megabytes per second from 13, 17, and 12. And we can go in here and see our time code. We can also do slow motion, which is kind of cool. I didn't know this one had slow motion. And if you press the big red button, that's going to record. So that's how you start and stop your videos. Or you can press the button on the camera. No big deal there. And like on your iPhone's camera, if you select in the middle right there, you swipe right or swipe left, it's going to give you time lapse. You can change it to burst mode or a variety of modes inside this app. And you can also click on this button. That's going to take you into your library, and my video loaded but it wouldn't play, so it crashed. That might be something you need to work on. Also, I did notice there's a little bit of lag in the Wi-Fi delay back to the app for the real-time view, and you're not really going to use this anyway for a real-time view, but that's typical Wi-Fi video. There's always lag with that. But let's go ahead and get this quad up in the air, and let me show you how awesome this quad is. On 4S, we'll do 5S, and we'll do 6S, and we'll check out some of the video from the new Runcam 3S. Here we go. Now, I went ahead and plugged in a 4S 1300 on this, and it was surprising to me when I did the first test coming up that you're gonna see. It did surprisingly well with these low kV motors. I got a pretty long flight time on a 4S 1300, which was pretty awesome. So you have the option with the 6S setup. If you guys want to fly 4S on here, you can do that. The motors came down nice and cool. They weren't overheated, and it didn't get totally stressed out. But the performance of this quad, right away when I took the sticks, I knew that I had something in my hands that was completely as much quad as I want, as fast as I want, and as aggressive as I want. I set the rates in beta flight to about 75.75, and it snaps and rolls and yaw snaps like a Ferrari. This thing is amazing on 4, 5, and 6S. Now 6S, I felt like it was just a little bit touchy on the throttle, but that's because I don't fly 6S a lot. If you're used to flying 6S, that's going to be like something that you can really get down with, and you're going to be able to corner. If you're racing on 6S, you're probably going to win races on 6S. With a quad like this with 2308 motors. It's just a beast. This Tyrant is definitely a tyrant. This thing is crazy. It's like the Mike Tyson of quads. It just, I mean, it would probably eat the Hawk 5 for lunch. Yeah, the Hawk 5 flies really nice, but this is a powerhouse. And when June over at Diatone showed me this setup, I'm really big on the 6S quads this summer, and I had to get a hold of this quad to show you guys. The punch out on that is insane on 4S, and I did do some punch outs and some super fast flying on 6S, so you guys are going to be pretty excited to see some of that 6S power. And let's go ahead and start out on 4S. I'll show you some of that Runcam 3S footage, and then we'll also take a look at the 5S and that 6S battery. So buckle up, guys, here we go. It's gonna get rough. Boom, so let's get this quad up in the air on 4S 1300. Got a graphene on here. And I was actually pretty surprised. I thought these 2308s were going to eat this 4S 1300 for lunch. I thought I was gonna smoke this battery. It was gonna come down sizzling and puffed, and I'm kind of mad that I just thrashed it, but like a true low kV motor, it went easy on the 4S battery. It's interesting that it actually had a good flight time, probably around 4 to 5 minutes on this quad. And my first impression, this is my first battery. You're looking at my maiden flight, and I'm already feeling pretty comfy and pretty good with this quad. Low level flying, nice punch outs. And like I said before, you can fly this quad on the 4S battery, 5S, or 6S. And from my experiences today, I feel like the 6S battery, it felt a little squirrely on the throttle. And again, that's just because I'm not used to flying 6S all the time. I'm usually flying 4S where it feels nice and comfy. I rarely ever fly 5S, but I have plenty of control. I raised the rates up to about 75, and it's snappy as I want. But right out of the box, no tuning, no PID tunes were touched or tweaked. Everything is totally stock, what you see here. And the Runcam 3S is doing pretty good. It's really smoky out today, and it's probably the worst day ever to try to get some decent, nice quality film. but I do see some nice color variation there with the WDR working, so I'm happy that this camera is actually doing pretty well in such a gray overcast day. So this is kind of what you can expect for a fall type of situation. Okay, let's try out that 5S battery. Look at this punch out, almost no jello right there. That's a pretty good tune on the GT Tyrant. This 6S version seems pretty locked in. Now the 5S battery, in my opinion, is where it's at. I felt like it did have a little bit of yaw wander on the flips on 5S, so it is kind of powered up a little more, but I felt like that the steering on 5S, along with the extra throttle, felt really, really good with the 2308s. And those 40 amp ESCs are hanging in there just fine. Pretty nice for freestyling. You can pretty much get away with anything you want. And 5S is really, really nice. It feels like you're just barely pushing on the throttle coming back over the trees, and you're just floating while you're almost inverted, which is crazy. And you have a lot of hang time. When you go up above these trees, look at that, it's just like so much control. Like I get to absolutely go where I want, almost back into that tree. But I feel like this quad has a lot of good points for freestyle. If you want a quad that you can just slap a GoPro on it, or this Runcam 3S, you have plenty of room to freestyle this quad. Or if you wanted this to be a mountain range, long range quad, it would definitely do that. I believe they have some extra arms that you can make this one with 6-inch props on it. So 3D print yourself a canopy on this thing, maybe slim it down a little bit, and throw some 6-inch props on there with some crossfire. It would be a pretty amazing quad out in the mountains. And I feel, look at that, it's like inches off the ground, total control. I'm loving the feel of this quad. And I want to fly this one some more. I have that 6S battery that we're going to try next. And for some reason the camera did not record when I flew the next battery on 6S. But I almost completely smoked my 6S battery. So 2308s got really hungry with me and the throttle on a 6S battery. But I was also punching it for you guys with that Pulse battery. And what you probably want is a higher rated C rating on your battery. You want something 75C or greater when you're flying this 6S. That 45C battery. The 1050s are good, and you can get about 3 minutes on those, maybe more if you just cut back on the throttle. But if you're freestyling it, you probably want a little bit larger, unless you don't mind the flight time. And here I'm just trying to find a line going through here. Wide open field, it's all mine today. Come back over these trees. And like I said before, I feel like that the 5S battery is probably the funnest on the throttle and the most locked in for the Tyrant so far. So now let's go ahead and try out the 6S battery, and I'll show you what that's all about with my DVR footage. Here we go. So let's go ahead and take off on the 6S Pulse 1050 milliamp battery, and I'm just going to kind of let this roll, and you guys can check this out. And look at how fast. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Somebody that has serious control on 6S, that's why I say all the time, these guys are winning races in multi-GP. It is so ridiculously fast on 6S, way across a huge field, and you have plenty of boost. So there's going to be a lot of throttle maintenance management when you're flying and racing on 6S. Now if you're freestyling on 6S, that's going to be different, but it's going to take a lot of control coming around a corner inches off the ground and cornering and headed for the next gate, making sure that your next gate's lined up and not sliding out, so to speak, kind of like the Indy cars do. And a lot of times when I fly 6S, that's what I feel like. I'm kind of sliding out on the corners. I just have too much speed in the corners, and I just end up kind of peeling out. But the Unify seemed to be breaking up a little bit out here. I'm not sure why. It might be because I was standing near some trees a little bit out there. But generally that VTX is really good. And it's awesome that they included the TBS Unify. And right there, I believe those cedar trees are sort of blocking a little bit of that patch antenna. Just going down there and exploring that road. Now I'm going to try a full throttle rip here pretty soon for you guys. You're going to see that voltage tank, and it ended up like setting the quad down because the battery got so hot. So I normally don't do that, but I was really paying attention because it was sounding really, really amazing out there in front of me on 6S. And as you can see, the yaw snap is just incredible on this 6S battery. So Diatone definitely has a beast here with this quad. It is not a beginner quad by any means. It flies really, really locked in. If I wanted to slow flow this, freestyle it, race it, whatever you want to do with this quad, you can do on 4, 5, and 6S. So for a little over $200, I think the price is pretty good. I think they start out at $200 and they go up depending on whether you want the 4 or 6S version. So you guys can check that out. The frames will be available pretty soon. The Runcam 3S is going to be available, I believe it was August 29th. You guys can get a hold of one of these for around $99. And now Runcam's back in the game with their GoPro Session style camera, which is great because a lot of us have the TPU mounts for our quads. But 5 stars out of 5, another 5-star quad is in my hands, and I'm going to fly this one for the rest of the summer. This one's going on some of my road trips I want to take you guys on, so got to get back out on the road soon. But thanks again for subscribing, you guys, and hanging out with me. This is a really awesome quad. You can check it out all in the links below, guys. Take care, and I appreciate you watching. I'm Justin Davis. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.